Okay, you've already finished recording your voiceover and you've already added your background music. So now you're going to add images that are going to complement what you recorded. So I have my project rewound. I'm going to open up my photo browser, my media browser, into the photos section. And so I have an album just for the photos that I'm going to use in my biography, in my podcast. Okay, and I'm going to insert those photos onto the very top track. It's called the podcast track, and it says drag artwork here. So I'm going to click on that track because that's the track I'm going to be working on. The first thing you can do is where it says drag episode artwork here. Episode artwork, let's just read its description. This image is displayed in iTunes when the episode is selected. It will be displayed anywhere there is no artwork presented in the podcast track. So this is like one picture. It's like your album cover. It's one picture to represent your whole project. So probably a picture of yourself. I don't know, maybe that one. And you can drop it right there. And if you double click, you can zoom in, zoom out, crop it however you want. And then set that to be the picture. Okay, so now you're going to have to play your project and listen to what you talk about first.
My name is Mr. Ellman, and I teach technology class at Viking Middle School. I live in Wadsworth, Illinois with my wife and my daughter.
Okay, so I said that I teach technology at Viking Middle School, so I'll put the Viking logo in there. So I dropped it in there. Notice it extends really far, almost till the very end of the project. Don't worry about that for now, because we're going to drop other pictures in there, other artwork. So first I want to just line that up.
Wadsworth, Illinois.
So I want to back that up a little bit and play that.
Viking Middle School.
Okay, so Viking Middle School.
I live in Wadsworth, Illinois with my wife and my daughter.
Okay, so I'm going to put in a picture of my family. There we go. Let's see if that's in the right place.
With my wife and my daughter. I also sponsor science.
Now, while I'm working on this, if I click on the picture right here, it'll pop that out and I can see what it's going to show at the time. So I can watch it that way as well. Okay, so next.
Wadsworth, Illinois with my wife and my daughter. I also sponsor Science Club and a
Science Club. Okay, so this picture is too big, and so I'm going to need to edit it. I don't edit there. I don't edit there. Look down here. This is where I'm going to edit. So I'm going to double click. It's going to pop it out, and I can make it so that fits better that way. What you'll notice now is I have these three pictures that I've put onto my podcast track. They also line up here, and what it's telling me is the time, the exact time that that picture starts, and it's down to the thousandth of a second. If I wanted to change that manually, I can, but it's easier to just drag it around up there. So there's the artwork, and then I have chapter title, URL title, and URL, which I'll come to in a little bit. Let's add a couple more pictures.
Track and field here at Viking.
All right, track and field. There we go. There's a track and field picture. Let's rewind again.
Coach track and field here at Viking.
I think the science one was...
I also sponsor Science Club and a...
Okay, Science Club, track and field.
I coach track and field here at Viking.
All right, and let's edit that picture. Set it that way. Okay, I think that's enough. Of course, there's a lot more to go. When you get to the end, if the picture goes beyond where you want it to, you can grab the end of the picture and just drag it back to where you want it to end. Okay, so now when I play this, and if I want to move these around, let's say I leave a gap in here. Let's say I move that and I leave a gap in here. What's going to show up when it's playing during this gap? Well, that's going to be the episode artwork. So if I play it,
coach track and field here at Viking.
See, there's a moment where there was no artwork, and so it just showed the main episode artwork, which is okay if you want that to happen. And it's okay if it shows the episode artwork at the end if you're saying some kind of conclusion. All right, so now down here in the podcast markers section, if you wanted to title each chapter, you can title each chapter. I can call that Viking, I can call that Family, I can call that Science, or I can call that clubs, and then this one doesn't need a title. And then here it says URL title and URL. Now, the chapter titles and the URLs are optional. You don't need to do those. But it's something you can do, and it's kind of neat if you wanted to do that. So, for example, let's say I wanted to put the website for Viking here. So the URL title means what's going to appear on the screen. That's the text. The URL, I can copy it and paste it, or I can just type it in, but I think you need to type in the entire address, including http://viking.d56.org. Okay, so now when I play this, what should happen is there should be a link that I can click on. Yeah, it appears right here while you're testing it. It also will appear sometimes when you're viewing the final project, depending on what method you're using to view it. So right here, I can click on Viking Middle School. It will take me out to Safari, and it'll take me to that website, whatever I put in. All right, when I am finished, I'm going to go up to Share. I'm going to send podcast to iTunes, and this should say AAC encoder. Yours should already say that. I've changed mine. You didn't change yours. I'm going to hit Share. It's going to send it to iTunes. Once it gets to iTunes, you're going to grab it from iTunes. You're going to drag it to the Dropbox folder. Yours is going to be that Dropbox folder. Make sure you hit the OK button that comes up in the message, and then it is turned in. Find it here in my music list. It's called Elmancast. If I play it, it will play it up here. If I click on the picture, it will pop out right there.
I teach technology class at Viking Middle School. I live in Wadsworth, Illinois with my wife and my daughter.
What you'll notice is it's not changing the pictures. Okay. In this version of iTunes that you have, it doesn't show the pictures. However, drag it to the desktop, and if you play it in QuickTime, which you can either find QuickTime on your computer, or you can hold down the control button on the keyboard, click on it, and choose Open With, and choose QuickTime Player.
My name is Mr. Ellman, and I teach technology class at Viking Middle School. I live in Wadsworth, Illinois with my wife and my daughter. I also sponsor Science Club, and I coach track.
So notice it is changing the pictures. We didn't see the hyperlink. There are other ways you can view it where you can see the hyperlinks. Again, that's optional. You can play around with that. And that's all there is to it.